You want to hear a little story? Just a little one. I had this dream when I was a kid. I grew up in a block of flats. They, like 8 stories. And in the bottom of the flats was, well, I guess originally it was probably for the prams, for the mothers to leave the prams. But of course, places like that they just become gathering spots for angels of lesser divinity, we say. And so, it's a kind of a dirty place. And, it smells of hopelessness and urine. And it was always a scary place for me as a child. It was the dark place, because the lights didn't work in there, because the people would break the lights so that they could go in and do whatever they were doing. A lot of burnt foil. And in my dream, I'm lying face down in this dirty, desolate place. And I'm terrified. I wake up and I'm in this, it's like I'd fallen through the whole building and landed in the bottom. And I'm kind of realizing where I am, and I can hear movement and rats and all the stuff that's in there. And I see a witch, and she's sitting about maybe 4 meters from me, maybe 3. And she's stirring a pot. And it's a big pot, an old metal, circular pot, and the flames are green. And she has a long nose, she has long dark hair, she's dressed in black robes, she has a witch's hat, and her face is green. Maybe her face is green, maybe it's lit from the flames, I'm not sure, but she has a green face. She's like a classic Wizard of Oz witch. But in my dream, as a kid, she's the most terrifying thing I've ever seen. And I'm looking at her and I'm absolutely petrified. I'm petrified to the point where I can't make a sound, I can't scream, I can't do anything, I'm just utterly. And in the dream, she looks around and she sees me. She looks at me. And in the dream, I wake up. And ever since I was a kid, this dream has been utterly terrifying to even to remember it. And it comes back to me. I don't dream it again, but the feeling comes back a lot. And I was explaining this to a friend of mine in Paris. And she said, I'd like to sit with you. And let's go back to this dream. You talk about this dream, you've spoken about it before. I'd like to go back to that dream. Can you go there? I said, sure. She said, now let's sit down. You're in the shed, it's dark. You're afraid. You're realizing where you are. You see the witch. You see the pot. You see she's stirring. She's looking into the pot. You can see her green face, the green flames, her hat, her nose. And she looks at you. Now be there in that moment now. She looks at you, and I said, yeah, and that's the terrifying moment. Yeah, and now, stay there. Can you stay there? And I said, yes, I can stay there. She said, stay there. She's looking at you. Now what happens? And I said, she smiles. And she said, yes. She smiles. You were recognized by a powerful woman. You were recognized by the feminine, by the powerful feminine. It's a good thing. Don't be worried about it. I guess the point of it's kind of a way of me introducing the next song. Because when I met Vienna first, I had that same feeling. I was terrified. But I kept looking. And she smiled. This is called Ghost.